let's talk about the big birthday for real over the weekend.
Oh. For real.
For real. It was the Xbox 360's 10th birthday over the weekend. How cool is that? It's been 10 years.
Makes me feel old.
It makes me feel old because I remember literally waiting in line at midnight outside of a circuit city, and it was very cold.
You were just a boy.
I was a real dumb boy.
Almost graduated. I was graduated by the time I bought one, I think.
Yeah, I was in high school. I was a real dummy.
So I wanted to we'll spend a little time on this because the 360 it's in the console Hall of Fame, right?
course,
Nobody
yeah.
debates that.
No, it's like the 360 is up there with me with like Super Nintendo for best of all time.
PS2.
Yeah, totally.
It's an all-time great for sure.
And then maybe the original
Jaguar.
NES too.
Yeah, Jaguar.
Yeah.
You stop it, Destin.
32X.
Aliens vs. Predator was
Fair enough.
probably the single best reason to own
Even a
the
broken
Jaguar.
clock's right twice a day.
It was a great game, actually. But anyway, yeah, so let's go around. Well, first Xbox 360 memories. What do you guys remember about either the first time you played it, first game you played on it, when you bought it? Like, what is the earliest time that the 360 became real to you?
Hexic was the first thing I played on it.
Really?
Me too.
Not a surprise.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
pre-installed on all
The
the
game
hard
was
drive
fantastic.
Yeah.
Hexic was great.
Yeah.
Versions. Was.
Yeah, I played a lot of that launch lineup, actually. I don't remember which one I played first, but I remember that winter I had Call of Duty 2, I had Cameo, I had Perfect Dark, and I had Peter Jackson's King Kong the Movie, the game.
I love that game.
Not a launch title.
Not a launch
we
title,
keep going
but it came out that Christmas.
Yes,
I'm just
it did. It did. I just want to.
Marty knows.
You've been on this horse before.
This is the hill I'm going to die on. Tomb Raider was delayed, and Peter Jackson's King Kong the Movie, the game was a launch title.
When did Dead Rising come out then?
The following August.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, was it? Yeah.
I think it was August 06.
Oh, yeah, because spring was like Ghost Recon and...
yeah.
Ghost Recon was the first graphical.
Didn't Grawl launch with the 360?
No, it was a
No,
spring
it was
game, yeah.
supposed
Really?
to. It was supposed
Okay.
to. As was Oblivion. They both ended up delayed until March.
It was wow, look at what this thing
Yeah,
can do.
like I remember of those 4 games I mentioned, the Rare ones were the ones I was disappointed in just because Rare is one of my favorite developers, and that
Yep.
was sort of at the
Perfect
time.
Dark.
Perfect Dark Zero was such a bummer.
the multiplayer was kind of fun.
It was fine. It was not a great game. But
It
it was
is a
was
hard game to go
decent
back to.
I'll
Single-
bet I
single
haven't tried.
player.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
see, I still think Cameo was underrated. I still think that's an underappreciated game.
I think, I don't think Cameo is bad. I just think sort of if I was holding it to the standard of Banjo-Kazooie, which is one of my favorite games
Right,
of all time.
that's fair.
But Call of Duty 2 is phenomenal. Call of Duty 2 was, I think, at the time, it was probably the best-looking game I'd ever played.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing that
the
stood
smoke
out,
effects.
that's exactly
Yeah.
the 60 frames a second, and the smoke effects were had not been seen before.
Yeah.
The volumetric smoke wasn't possible on the old
So good.
consoles.
Yeah, such a rad campaign. And then, King Kong is this weirdly, it's a very short, small game, but everyone forgets it's Michel Ancel and Ubisoft.
It's Michel Ancel making a Half-Life game.
Yeah.
So
it's a
good.
very cinematic sort of experience-driven, not even a shooter, a first-person.
First-person action adventure.
Yeah,
thing.
Until
yeah.
you become King Kong and you rip a T-Rex jaw in half.
Yeah, that was
so
real
cool.
That was
Yeah,
real good.
that was good.
Easiest 1,000 you can get.
If our dumb internet would work, I would read you the full list of launch titles because there were actually a lot.
Let's see if we can do this.
There
From
were,
memory.
I believe there were, if memory serves, 15 or 16
wow,
games at
I
launch.
definitely
There
can't
were
do
a
them.
lot.
Need for Speed was one of them.
Really?
That was one of the first games I got. Yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't Ridge Racer?
No, it was one of those cross-platform
Ridge
releases.
Racer.
It was Need for Speed and another title.
Project Gotham Racing 3,
Need for
I
Speed.
imagine
Which
there
Need
was-
for
was
Speed?
awesome.
So that was one of the games that came out on Xbox and on Xbox 360 at the
Right.
same time.
Yeah, I imagine
So, yeah.
there was a Madden or a NBA Live or something.
Yes.
Because I remember
Both.
playing it on Xbox and I was like, "Whoa, this is a
Now,
big downgrade."
did you guys all play? Since I'm the old man here at the table. Did you guys all play the system when it came out? Did you guys
Very
play
briefly.
it
I was
ahead of time or?
Oh, I didn't play it ahead of time.
Oh,
no.
I think I might have played Perfect Dark and in Best Buy. I was like, wow, every time I shoot a gun, the bullet casing pops out. A friend of mine bought one. Call of Duty 2 was super impressive. I didn't buy one until I think it was December 2006.
There were 18 launch games.
Here we go. I've got them.
okay.
Yeah. Amp 3.
Gross.
It wasn't a bad game. Stop.
It was okay. Amp 2 was 10 times better though.
Of course. Call of Duty 2, we talked about. Again, the one, my favorite, we talked about it back when the backwards compatibility hit a couple weeks ago. Condemned, Criminal Origins.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I remember
So
that
good.
demo. I played the game I think the next year, but
Yeah.
the demo was one of those things. All these games you could download free demos of.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the beginning of the end for official Xbox magazine. We used to have all the demos on our disc every month. Yeah, Condemned's so good. Again, it's backwards compatible. If you can find it, for the love of God, I think you will play it, and I think you will not regret it.
Remember when it came out? It's pretty rough.
Ryan, you were wrong.
What? What are you talking about?
Wait,
I'm wrong all the time.
Keep going.
Yeah.
No, I'm not wrong. I see what you're saying. I'm not wrong.
Why is it on this
swear
list?
to God. Okay, Wikipedia is wrong.
Don't
Wikipedia
is
It's a crowdsourced
it's the
garbage hole.
It's the high mind.
What game?
It says it.
Chronological order here.
It says the game launched.
What game are you talking about?
King Kong. It says it
okay.
launched with the console.
I don't believe you.
Ryan, you.
No, I don't believe you.
You use the fact that I drink a lot and forget things against me.
I so don't believe this.
All right, we'll keep going down the list of games.
All right.
Return this family.
Was there, now I'm worried about Need for Speed.
FIFA 06.
Yeah, Need for Speed. Most wanted.
Gun, which was one of good game.
Hawkware.
Correct, Mitch. A term that I invented.
Is that the thing that was just like an upported or an
Literally
upres?
file save as in 720p.
Hawkware.
In 720. Oh my God.
My favorite term.
Hold on. What made it Hawkware wasn't just the file save as in higher resolution. It was the fact that it was the same thing, but for $10 more. Because remember, games were $50, and starting with 360, games were $60.
Thanks, M dollar sign.
For a second, I thought it was Hawkware because Neversoft developed Gun.
Well, that's just a coincidence.
That's just yeah.
No, it ended up being what was it like? American Wasteland was the one, right?
Yeah.
That was the Tony Hawk
let's
game?
See. Hold on. Yep.
Yeah, American
correct.
Wasteland.
Good
Okay.
memory. Yeah, Tony Hawk. The two Activision games, Tony Hawk, American Wasteland, and Gun were the exact same versions as their PS2, Xbox counterparts. In 720p for
Weirdly, I
$10.
think
Gun wasn't bad.
Gun was
pretty
excellent.
good. Yeah.
I think the Xbox version of King Kong ended up being better than the 360 version. Like, obviously, it was like visually more impressive, but like the lighting was wrong on 360.
Weird.
Or something. Like, it was just darker in places in ways that didn't make sense.
When did Peter Jackson's King Kong the movie, the game, release for Xbox 360?
IGN's review is November 23rd, 2005. Just saying.
Son of a.
I didn't see any movies, man.
Forget it. All right,
Series looking
I'll
for
just take
movies.
the loss on this one. I don't know why I remember it that way, but I'm old.
Because there were games that came out that in December that didn't launch, right?
I feel like there was
Dead or
Alive.
Alive.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, like, was there a week 2 of Xbox 360
So
games or
anyway,
anything?
continuing, so we Cameo. We talked about Madden 06, NBA 2K 06, NBA Live 06.
All the sports games.
Need for Speed Most Wanted, as Destin pointed out.
Wow.
NHL 2K6, back when 2K Games was making hockey games. Perfect Dark Zero, Mitch touched on. Peter Jackson, which I'm wrong about. PGR 3, which is the other one of the other just standout
That was-
launch
that
titles.
was gorgeous.
So good.
Rip.
Oh my goodness.
Sad.
Quake 4.
I totally forgot.
Fun fact, bundled with a 360 port of Quake 2.
Really?
Yeah, you could play. It was just a straight port. You
Did
had
it have online?
That I don't remember.
It's insane that they never released that as like XBLA.
Right.
Yeah, it
Like,
was
I
just
would've-
a
for like $10, I would have bought Quake 2 probably.
It was
Yeah.
probably before they, like, XBLA was a thing, obviously, because
From
the
day one,
marketplace
yeah.
existed.
Yeah, but it was what
in
like the 30 or the super,
super
cap.
small limit, but
yes,
Yeah.
25.
I mean, I don't
yeah.
imagine Quake 2 was more than that.
Yeah, I guess.
That I don't recall. But anyway, yeah, Quake 4, which was done by Raven, Ridge Racer 6, Tetris. Oh, that's Europe. Tiger Woods 06, and Tony Hawk. So again, a lot of games. What I always say about the 360 launch lineup, there was no killer app.
No.
But there was not really very many duds either.
Yeah.
There were a lot of good games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
at
on
launch.
average, I would probably score that launch higher
That's like
than most.
that's like a B or B plus kind
yeah.
of launch. You
Might
know,
be better than the last couple consoles ever launched.
yeah, better than probably Xbox One or PS4's
Certainly,
launch.
yeah, absolutely.
Certainly better than Wii U. R.I.P. Nintendo Sports or Nintendo Land.
So yeah, quick story. The first time I played an Xbox One game, it was back.
You mean 360 or one?
Sorry, thank you. 360 game.
Damn it, brain.
The earliest dev kit versions of the 360 were souped up Macintosh G5s. You guys remember this?
Nice.
That's crazy.
I never saw one.
Yeah.
right.
So at E3 that year, 2005, I somehow had, I think I had an exhibitor badge or something, so I could get on the floor early. And over at the 2K booth, they had some kiosks there, and whatever morning before the show started, I was there. They just had Topspin 2 running.
Yeah.
And there was a 360 controller sitting there, which again at the time that's like holy crap.
Yeah.
You just a 360 controller was a new thing. Everything about it was new. Came up, played for a couple minutes, and then walked away because I didn't want to get yelled at. But yeah, just randomly Topspin 2 on an alpha kit was the first 360 game I played.
I ever tell you guys a story about how I got my 360? I may have on the show
I don't know.
before.
Now's as good a time as any.
Break and enter.
Okay, so I used to work at UPS. I was in management.
You stole
there.
someone's. I like where this is going.
And there was a lady there that would collect all the plastic and make sure it got recycled. And I was like, hey, will you save the bottle caps? Because Mountain Dew was doing this promotion.
think you
and
have
you would
told this.
redeem the codes on
Yeah.
the bottle caps. So she showed up one day and was like, here's 300 bottle caps.
Wow.
So I went and manually redeemed them all on the Mountain Dew website. And I figured out the best time to enter to figure out your ratio chance to win versus not winning.
This
it
is
was
the
like,
most destined thing I ever.
I got to give the quick backstory of
Yeah.
they were giving away like what was it a
an
360
Xbox an
every hour or something?
Yeah, every hour. So every hour you could put X amount of bottle caps toward your chance to win.
Yeah.
So I was like, only 40 people are entering at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to stay up and I'm going to put all 300 on there. I won.
Nice.
That is so
Yeah.
amazing.
That's amazing.
I
that.
love that.
So I won the Xbox and they were like, what game do you want at launch? And I was like, Need for Speed. And I got Cameo because Need for Speed was delayed. But it was delayed because I got the console a week early.
Oh,
So I had the console a week before anybody else did at retail.
that's cool.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I was playing Cameo and Hexic, and then later they shipped me Need for Speed.
That's the best.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I ended up waiting until 2006, and it was Gears of War that, like, most people broke me. Like, I saw that game, and was like, what the hell is this? How? Okay, I'm in. I like the day after Christmas, Boxing Day in Canada, went shopping. Everything was on sale. Bought a 360, got Gears, and then just the deal that GameStop was running at the time was it was basically like, here's every Ubisoft game. So I think I got Rainbow Six Vegas, which I was like, okay.
That didn't come out
whatever.
until 2007.
Maybe I got it like really
I
early
think.
2007.
Unless my memory is wrong again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. Because I got Splinter Cell Double Agent and Graw,
Yeah.
both
That
of which I
sounds-
played and was like, these games are not for me. And then
I like Double Agent. I mean,
They were both
it's
great
clunky,
games.
it was
but
okay.
yeah.
Like I
It's
played
you
the
that's
first,
wrong.
I played the first few hours of Double Agent. Was like, this is cool, but like this series has just never been for me.
There's a big twist.
Yeah. Then Conviction was the one that hooked me years later. But it was
Yeah.
like those games, and then like I just tried to play everything I could. So I played everything from like Lost Planet and Crackdown to Turning Point: Fall of Liberty, which is among the worst games I have
Oh.
ever played.
But with
Crackdown 1 was so fun.
the crying shame about Turning Point Fall of Liberty was that the premise was
so
so good.
It was so good.
So good that the Nazis won the war and had invaded America.
Now we just watch Man in the High Castle.
Or not, or had maybe they hadn't
They won the
but
war and
they
they just
were.
occupied it.
Yeah.
America was theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and I
rescue
didn't.
the Constitution from the White
When
House.
did you guys get HDTVs? Because I didn't get one until I moved out here, so it was like late summer 2008.
Yeah, mine was probably about the same time. That
Yeah.
completely
See-
changed Rainbow Six for me. I was like, this is what this game looks like? Good lord. I've been
So
playing it all wrong.
So I got one of the old, like, big projection TVs,
wow.
one of the huge ones. I found one used for like $400.
Yeah.
So I bought it, and like I had the old surround sound system that you buy at like Walmart with the
God.
speakers, and I would run the wires, so I had surround sound
Yeah.
and
So good.
everything.
Yeah, I knew it was coming, and I was working in the field or at OXM already, and I had no wife, kid, or dog, so not a lot of overhead. So I spent like $3,000 on one of the Samsung DLP, which at
Yep.
the time
Oh,
was
yeah.
like
That was
kind of a
the-
great all
that was the
around
dream.
And I think it was a 46 inch or something, and it was So I was ready, and it was
right
it
from the
was
get-go.
it was glorious.
No, because
It
I
was so
remember,
good.
Dead Rising was the first game where it was just like, oh man, I
Oh,
can't
the
read,
text.
I can't read
Yeah,
anything
that was
in this game.
notoriously you could not read the text on
Yeah.
a standard definition TV. But yeah, so Mitch, you mentioned Gears of War being
Yeah.
your kind of oh my god moment. For me, it was at CES when they showed and then dropped the. This is back when Microsoft used to do stuff at CES. They showed off on stage Fight Night Round 3.
Oh,
Slow
that-
motion
and then they
punch.
dropped
Yeah.
the demo at the same time.
Yeah.
And we were just, I remember just being like, what? because I didn't
Yeah.
even like boxing.
Sure.
And then it turned out that's one of the only cases where the graphics were so amazing
You bought
I
it?
had to play.
Yeah.
And then I
I
ended up
bought
loving
that
the
game.
game. I love the and I love the
Fight Night
series now.
was amazing.
I had the demo, and I remember I would impress girls in college who were over at parties. I was like, "You want to see a real good looking boxing game?" Looking back on it, I'm like, "That's not the best game, Marty."
Did you get numbers?
So many
Digits?
numbers. So
Yeah.
many numbers.
So many
Watch
digits.
me knock this man's teeth out
So
and
many fake numbers.
increase the size of his gaping wound.
Girls in Wisconsin are weird, Mitch.
Yeah, man.
And then I remember I went out to, because this is the early magazine days and it's long lead times. I went to Bethesda to review Oblivion, and I spent. This is we all knew it was a huge game. Morrowind. Everybody knew what was up. I spent 4 days there. I stayed at a hotel literally next door, so I just wake up, roll out of bed, and walk next door. 11-hour days, doing nothing, stopping only to go to the bathroom or eat lunch.
Yeah.
And then 44 hours in 4 days, which was actually awesome because I was kind of like living in Cyrodiil. Like I was just in that
kinda great.
world, and it was great. I wish I could do that now with like Witcher 3 or for Skyrim at the time, or Fallout 4 for that matter.
You can join our guides team.
Yeah.
Let's see how much you want to wish that again.
Talk to Miranda. See how she's enjoying Tomb Raider.
If all I have
the
to do
fourth
is write a review, don't have to make a video,
Yeah.
don't have to make a podcast, don't have
Don't have to know every
Those days are
secret.
gone.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that was good. Now, you guys got to remember? So wait, what you all had your console? Was your
Late
launch or
06,
shortly after?
about a
Within
year
the first
after.
year. Let's walk back to the fall of 2007. One of the greatest
Good lord.
years, and just great. Forget about even the whole year, because there are other things that year too.
That's one of those, like, is it the best year of all time for games?
It's up there, but let's just concentrate right down to. We're in the holidays now. The fall season of 2007.
That was like Rock Band, Mass Effect. This is off the top of my head. I'm not looking at the thing. Rock Band, Mass Effect, and there's another big one. I'm forgetting.
There's a couple big ones.
Bioshock,
Oh, yeah.
Halo 3,
Yeah.
Call of
Modern
Duty
Warfare.
4, Modern Warfare.
So I like how I always
Dude.
say the reason I haven't played
Dude,
Mass Effect
those
is
are all
because I was out of
10s.
gaming
Yeah.
then. I've totally played Bioshock and Rock Band and Halo and Call of Duty this
Yeah.
fall, so I don't have an excuse there.
Those games are all. I don't think we literally gave them all 10s at OXM, but I think the lowest score. Let's see.
Yeah, Mass
Bioshock
Effect
was a
was-
10.
They're all really.
Those are all like game of the
good.
I mean,
generation.
yeah, those they're
contenders.
all
Yeah.
9.5s are up.
Yeah, Rock Band, I think, ended up being a 9.5.
That's
Rock
right.
Band
So we
with the
gave it Game of the
drums,
Year
that
anyway.
was so
Yes.
cool at the time. Like the first people to do drums.
Yeah.
with
2007
That was fun.
Was that also Mirror's Edge?
No, I checked. It was 2008.
Okay.
I did double check that
Okay.
one. But man, I mean, and you look at 2007 was the second full year and third Christmas for the system.
So it's like this year.
That should be now. Like
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that it's you really can make the comparison, because now it's looking like next year could
Well-
be the 2007 of this generation, where
Yeah.
where
Well, hey.
Microsoft's got
Hold on.
Crackdown and Quantum Break
Okay.
and Sea of Thieves and Gears 4 and Halo Wars 2 and Cuphead and Inside,
yeah.
all these things lined up, to say nothing of third-party
Yeah.
awesome games. Yeah, whereas this year we've had a pretty good year and a pretty good holiday, but man, it doesn't compare at all
Yeah.
to the equivalent year
Yeah.
for 360, which is fall of 2007.
Yeah.
We have some good stuff this year. We got Fallout.
I like how you're not. You
Raider.
don't say Destiny
I was
anymore.
gonna
You say
say,
Fallout.
You're on a Destiny podcast.
No,
Yeah.
this was a good. Yeah, I mean,
That came out in
this year
September.
was 100% better than the last 2 years.
But
yeah.
but tell me what you guys remember about those games from 2007.
I remember playing them all at
Destin,
once.
Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Take me back to because you love that series so much. What did the first game do to you when you first played it?
So that's when I was just doing reviews for myself, not really for anybody.
Yeah.
I was just kind of learning how to capture video and everything. So I played a ton of Mass Effect, and then I stopped like right before the tower scene. And it wasn't until like a year later that I actually finished that game, and it became one of my favorites, because my friends were like, "Wait, you never finished Mass Effect? Go finish it! Are you crazy?" So
You're
I'm
10
like, "All
minutes
right."
from the most crazy, amazing boss sequence of
If
all time.
only games, God, that endings. Games have been having trouble with endings lately.
Yeah.
Mass Effect 1 did not have a problem
No,
with me. And
it did not.
So I hopped back in all this time later, and I finished it, and I'm like, this is one of the best experiences I've ever had in
Yeah.
gaming. I can't believe I waited this
Yeah.
long to finish it. And, also like Rock Band, I was talking about a little bit before, really, really enjoyed that. Halo 3 was when I started making videos and entering them into contests, which is how my whole career started. So, yeah, that was a crazy year for me.
silence on the left side of the room.
Marty, how do you feel about Mass
no,
Effect?
I was looking up things. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't play. I have nothing to say about Mass Effect. The two on this list that really stand out to me were Rock Band. I remember getting that at launch, and that was I lived with a couple of my best friends, and we would have parties every weekend, and that was the thing.
That sounds awesome.
It was no longer did I have to impress girls with Fight Night
Night.
3 demo.
You could show them Call of Duty 4 where dudes get nuked.
No, it was Rock Band. I remember
me play this plastic guitar.
But I remember Rock Band, but
Ladies.
it was also everyone hated drums, so it was like, who's the odd one out who has to play drums? I think maybe we hated them just because we were awful at it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. That and then Bioshock it's probably the first game of that generation that entered that rarefied
Oh
atmosphere
man,
for me.
the mid game would you kindly twist?
Totally like having that unspoiled. Like the first time going to like Neptune's Bounty or Fort Frolic, like that game still like Rapture is still probably as a setting. Rapture and Bioshock 1 is among my favorite in video games ever,
Fair to
and is
say.
like up there with like any setting of a movie or of a book.
Absolutely.
I remember when Bioshock came out, everybody's like, the water, look at the water effects. And
Water
like
was really
everybody really focused in on that. And
Yeah.
the other stuff kind of, came in.
Yeah,
to
because
the
I'd never
conversation.
played. I wasn't a PC gamer, so I never played like Looking Glass stuff. Never played System Shock, and I never played that kind of stuff. So
It is the spiritual successor to System Shock 2, which is
yeah, I went and
Astounding.
Later, I ended up playing it.
It's a hard game to go back to.
Yep.
probably.
Not because it's bad, it's just like impossible to navigate, and the UI and the controls are super weird.
Yeah, it's
just a
on. I
weird
think
game.
GOG, isn't it? It's like people have
I think it's
sort
on
of
Steam now too.
gotten it to work, play
Yep.
nice with modern.
Yeah, it's just
modern
out there
machines.
now. Finally.
Yeah, Call of Duty 4. I remember I actually reviewed that at Infinity Ward, and that was one of the easiest 10s I've ever given in my life. It's just like that. The multiplayer was
4.
off the charts.
Yeah.
And then that campaign, just
Still up there as some
Hall
one
of
the
Fame
best. Yeah.
campaign.
That's the infamous ghillie suit. when they're
Ghillies all
Yeah.
ghillied
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And we're one of your guys. You crawl out of the helicopter after your chopper goes down in the nuke blast,
my
crawl
God.
out and die.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, I'm okay. Oh,
Oh,
That,
no.
first, that
What?
first mission on the sub where
Oh,
you're
yeah.
going through and you're like, all right, this is cool. Like, this is really pretty. And I'm sneaking up on guys. I'm killing guys who are like unaware. Cool. I'm shooting some guys. This is cool. Oh, the sub or the boat is sinking and the thing is like tilting
Yep.
and the water's coming in and you have to escape. And you're like, I think I'm going to throw up. This is incredible.
And you have to remember that at that point in time, modern military shooting was the novel new cool thing.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't every game ever was.
It was also
modern
so
military.
original. They just did so much cool
It was
stuff. in the
World War
campaign.
II for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anybody have any Red Ring of Deaths at the table?
Never had one. I had a weird
I loaded-
disk drive issue, but
I still have
never
my
had-
launch. It works fine.
Are you serious?
Nice.
Yeah, I still have it
Put
at my
that
apartment.
thing in a vacuum sealed container.
Belongs in a museum.
I had 2
Love
red
to see it.
rings,
2?
and eventually I got an Elite and sold my third console, my third white one. Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up going through a handful at OXM because we had so many of them around, but not really as many as you might think. Like it wasn't. It
Yeah.
was kind of like we were kind of looking at it going, oh wow, this is happening, but ours are
not happening to
hanging.
us.
Yeah, ours are
Yeah.
hanging in there pretty well. Could you imagine if Red Ring of Death had happened in the social media age? How
Oh my
it would have been
God.
10 times worse.
Yeah.
10 times worse.
Yeah.
Microsoft
Absolutely.
handled it really well.
did.
They're just like, we'll fix it for you.
Well, Peter Moore
Yeah.
told the story on
Yeah.
back on Unlock 201 of how they were like, we got to fix this, and so they took it to Ballmer and said it's going to cost 1.1 billion, and Ballmer went, okay, do it.
Yeah.
It was like, we got to, otherwise our product's dead. It's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it really is. You're right. It's a testament to how well they handled it in the fact that practically nobody really remembers it anymore. Like it's such a
like a
distant
trivia
memory.
fact.
I think people remember it, but like
But it's
people
not- it's
are.
But
not
it's
a
so
thing,
it's
you know,
it's
yeah.
that nobody. It's all forgiven. It's all
You don't think about it when you go to buy an
No.
Xbox One.
That's
No.
true. Yeah.
which and they were even though the Xbox One is physically bigger than the PS4 is, they've been right in the sense that they don't fail. Xbox Ones we're 2 years in, because by the way, the Xbox One shares the birthday.
Wait
and it's
a minute.
2 years old.
What about all those like the people that are in the early access program? We've had a few brick consoles, but it's nowhere near to the scale of Red Ring. It's very like focused.
Yeah, but those aren't hardware issues, correct? Because I haven't
Software
been
that's
following
causing
it.
the conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah,
correct?
I haven't been following that, but
Me either.
Yeah, I've had two work PS4s break and no Xbox Ones.
Yeah,
I can't think of a single Xbox One in our office or even anyone I know that's had a hardware failure.
The only
like
reason
the-
I bring that up is because people keep tweeting at me my Xbox bricked.
That sucks.
So
That's
yeah,
unfortunate.
because of that software update.
Yeah, keep raising your voice to Microsoft then.
Definitely.
to
Yeah.
Xbox support.
It worked
and
last time.
Phil Spencer and who remembers faceplates? Huh?
Oh my
Faceplates?
God.
How many did you have? 17?
None. Right, I guess I had one. I had the one that came with the console.
The white one.
Old whitey.
I threw that one out. I ended up having a cool Canadian flag one that I got.
Talk for
free.
a second. I'm going to go get my
Oh, you're
special
going.
one.
He's gonna go show it off. It is a fancy boy faceplate.
It's not over there.
No.
What was your?
right back.
You had a Canadian faceplate?
Yeah, it was just like it was like just a maple leaf flag style thing. It
you
was
ever get
nothing
into that?
fancy, but it.
So I tried a few different ones. They had like a launch set that you could get. There was like a blue one with sort of like
This is
There
stupid
was one
different
different. There was one that was like
one.
hardwood. Yeah.
Oh,
The
that's
problem
right.
is like none of them ever actually like fit the aesthetic of the console, which was this like high tech, sleek,
white.
white, futuristic, like.
Yeah.
it looked like something out of Mass Effect,
Yeah.
and still kind of does. It's like a very cool looking machine. That when you throw like a bunch of gaudy trash on the front of it, it's
Yeah.
like, what is this
Yeah, why
cartoon
is anyone
monster
doing
machine?
Oh, Ryan still
Well,
has
and
it.
plus, like so quickly
those,
they
yeah.
gave up on it because they just, once the Elite came out and once they redesigned the console, it's like, well, we
They
don't
were
have these
worthless,
anymore.
yeah. And they totally acknowledged that. Oh yeah, we probably won't do anything with that ever.
I
Yeah.
don't know if this thing can be opened easily.
Microsoft's always done an interesting job of sort
I
of
don't wanna-
admitting their mistakes.
You don't want
You
to
don't
taint
wanna
it. It
Not
also
really.
belongs in a museum.
What is it?
All right,
Can
I'm
we
just
just
going to
describe
switch
it?
over to the camera.
Disaster.
Yeah.
So this is like a limited edition launch thing, right?
Yeah. How
Ryan's
did
holding-
you get these? Oh, it shows up on camera.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast for audio version only.
Ryan,
Sorry.
tell us a bit about it.
Jumping back on the
Yeah.
mic.
This was a very early.
this
thing.
was produced and handed out at E3 2005 before the console came out. So I
cool.
had this faceplate before I had the console.
That's how you got so hyped for the console.
And what I like about this, there's actually one specific thing I love about it that none of the retail faceplates ever had: the Chrome power button.
Oh, yeah.
And what actually was cool about it, it had like kind of a nice
yeah.
travel to it. Like you'd press it because remember the
It was like weird and sticky.
yeah, exactly.
It didn't
That's-
really have
and
it didn't
this-
feel like a trigger or anything.
And this does, and there's just, and I had this on my 360 for years. Like I had one of the, like so somewhere I have one that's out of the box. I wish,
yeah.
but I don't know where. But yeah, this one there were 5,000 of them. This is number 4,910. The Face of the Future, a numbered edition of 5,000, created for E3, May 16th, 2005.
That was awesome.
But
pretty
yeah,
cool.
this was my favorite faceplate. Yeah, all the other ones though, they were just so overpriced, and then nobody wanted them.
Yeah. And then the system got redesigned and it was like, oh, these are useless now.
Yeah.
you're looking for it.
Well, they'd given up on faceplates long before then.
Yeah.
Blade's dashboard. Everybody still likes to bring that up
I saw
from time
Major
to
Nelson
time.
tweet like a gif of somebody flipping through the dashboard, and I miss it. It's obviously just horrendous now and doesn't work. But
Oh, yeah. Couldn't accommodate all the stuff you have to
no, and at the time it was just so cool and different and
quick.
Yeah, like the idea of
Yeah,
just like
smooth.
flipping between tabs like pages.
You
got to
remember
very
that
ergonomic.
To that point, original Xbox, PS2, Dreamcast, whatever. There
was no
nothing,
dashboard.
There was nothing that had been seen like that
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, even like the original Xbox had a sort of home pagey
It had
dashboard
a,
if
it
you
had
wanted
a,
like
a
music.
proto
You could
dash.
check your
Yeah.
blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
50 grand, it's still kicking.
I can't remember what the original one looked like. I always remember version 2. Because then after that, it went to all the squares, and they changed it.
Oh, you
pretty
had you had
dramatically.
your marketplace screen, your media screen, your game screen.
I can't remember the launch one though. It was like big blades, and then the version 2 was like smaller, like within the screen.
No, they got rid of the blades pretty quick.
Yeah. All
The
right.
blades didn't last too long for the.
I want to
new-
see. We did a video about the evolution, didn't we?
It would have
There's
been
a
you.
video somewhere.
You probably made it.
Yeah. We should look that up.
And then there was, of course, the Kinect and the Cirque du Soleil event, which I'm not going to tell that story again because I want to end this on a high note. But man, what a great console. Favorite game for 360 now that it's pretty well all said and done?
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Strong call.
Good call.
Let's say Bioshock, Red Dead, or Braid.
Also strong
Portal's
calls.
also in
Oh, yeah,
there.
Portal.
Mass Effect.
Oh, that's the
Yeah,
one I left
Rock
off.
Band.
We even talked about this, Mitch, and I totally
Orange
didn't write
Box.
it down.
Yeah.
2007.
Was it Orange Box?
Orange Box was fall of
Oh, wow.
2007.
Team Fortress
so
2, Half-Life 2,
add
Episode
that
2, and Portal.
to the Orange Box. That's Bioshock, Rock Band, Mass Effect, Halo 3, Call of Duty 4, Orange Box. 6 generation-defining games in the same span of 3-4 months.
Yeah.
What a good year.
Absurd.
Yeah, it's kooky.
I think
Good
Mass Effect
console.
was
The ball's
my
in your
favorite
court
game for like
this
so long.
generation.
The first one.
Still
yeah.
my favorite one in the whole series.
Yeah. Oh, in the series.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking like favorite game ever. Mass Effect is still on my top 5, I think. Like
be
Mass
on-
Effect, Fallout 3, Uncharted 2. Those are 3 of them. Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
some good
probably
stuff
have to
in there.
go. I would probably have to go with either Mass Effect 1 or Rock Band as my favorite game on 360.
Yeah.
They were those two. Either of those were just insane.
Both phenomenal.
Although soft spot in my heart, 1 versus 100.
Oh, that
RIP.
was
Man.
fun. I would
RIP.
like set aside time to play that.
An actual once-in-a-lifetime game.
appointment gaming. It was
Yeah.
by design.
Had to
Appointment
get home by
gaming.
7.
Had to
Yeah.
get there. You'd get on with your friends.
Yep.
I
I still remember like sitting in chat with you and Dan and Paul.
Yes.
Like we'd all just hang out and
hung out.
BS and then like get some questions right, get some
Did
questions
you
wrong.
ever make the mob?
No.
I got in the mob once and I won $1.
Nice.
Because there were real money, there were real Microsoft prizes. Like actual money Microsoft prizes you could win.
I think I got in the mob twice, but I lost both.
Oh,
like, I didn't get
Destin.
anything. Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah,
That
that's,
sucks.
That's one that that's actually probably my proudest achievements on my profile, even though
got them all?
I got all 12. All 12, and they're
Dang.
physically impossible to ever get again.
Yeah.
So
What a brilliant idea. Like a live video game.
it really was. Clearly they had a sponsor because they were all Sprint.
Yes.
Remember
yeah.
the Sprint Theater or whatever, that the virtual place
Yeah.
where the game show took place in. But
Yeah, there was actually an announcer. Like somebody came.
He
Yeah,
recorded
that was
and they
cool.
did it live.
Yeah.
Dan Emmerich for OXM did a feature where he went to Seattle on one of the nights that they were running
Recording.
the
And
show.
it was like the
Yeah.
night that it all went terribly wrong.
Yes, it was.
God, I love that feature. Oh, that's so sad because I think that archive is gone. Like, I, don't
I think
you
it
can read
is.
that
You know
online.
what? I can try to dig it out of my archive
It's
and
got to
maybe
be somewhere. Somebody must have scanned it, or it's got to be
Yeah, I
replicated, stolen
think
somewhere.
Future, since they technically still exist, would probably sue me if I tried to put it online. But
Probably.
I'm sure we can find a way to
Yeah.
disseminate that because that was a great piece.
Such a good feature.
Oh, Xbox 360, we loved you. You were a great system. And Xbox One, you're 2 years old now.
Yeah.
You're on your way to
Yeah,
becoming.
it's been a good couple of years. I still don't know that I've had that Gears of War moment where I'm like, oh, this changes everything.
I agree with that.
I'm not ready to refer to 360 in past tense yet.
I am.
It's
I am.
still on my shelf.
No, that console, I look at it, it is dead to me.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
I can play Gears Judgment on my Xbox One now. Goodbye.
Yeah. I can't do it yet.
I do think 2016 that's when that switch is going to flip for you, Mitch, because I look at it that way. All those games I mentioned earlier, like Sunset was great last
Yep.
year.
Oh, yeah.
And Tomb Raider's great this year.
Absolutely.
That's going to be right
Fallout,
in the
Metal
mix.
Gear, there have been amazing games.
Started Tomb Raider, really liking it.
Game's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so good. And then I just feel like Cuphead could be the next Limbo, potentially, from everything we've seen of it. Inside could actually really be the next Limbo because it's made by
Everybody
the
makes
same
Limbo
people.
sound. Yeah.
Dino added me on LinkedIn this week, and I'm like, what's going on? Something's going on,
Interesting.
maybe.
And then, Sea of Thieves is, again, still my favorite game from E3. I just feel like that game could be something special if it's this open sea, if it's a rare open world shared experience pirate adventure.
That's the one I am most looking forward to. Sorry, I always glance over at
I
the...
know, I was just making sure.
I always look to make sure the MacBook hasn't died, and I always just vanish.
You're
and
like looking
goodbye,
through
I'm going
me.
on a journey, and I just freak out
Going
Ryan. Sea of Thieves is the one from E3 this year. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know I wanted this, but this is the game
Yeah.
that I want.
I'm in the same boat. So,
Pirate Destiny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Quantum Break, too. Those guys have never made a bad game. They've never even made a good game. They make great games at Remedy. So
Maybe think of like Wind Waker, but with multiplayer. Sort of. Like riding around on the open seas, exploring, finding new things.
I just care about finding treasure before anybody else.
Yeah.
first person open world, super colorful co-op pirating. Yes.
No Man's Sky is
I'll
coming to
have
Xbox, right?
Probably
Not that
eventually.
we-
Probably,
not yet.
but nothing has officially been
Someday?
announced.
I think it'll happen.
Yeah. In any case, just great stuff. What a great console. 10 years, man.
Thanks, Xbox.